Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ada, one of the psychotherapists from Uprise, and today we have about 30 minutes to share some of the quick tips with you. We are talking about creating your personal stress management plan. So so you can post your question in the chat room. Hi, morning, Christy. And we at the end of the sessions, we will ask you for feedback, and we will also send you a recording. So you can contact us, the Uprise team@uprise.org, or call the number 1-300-209-3711. Hi, afternoon. Why I say morning, because I'm from Singapore. Now it's 10:30 a.m. So yeah. So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Dr. Ada. I am one of the psychotherapists at Uprise, and my background is I have about 20 over years experience in counseling, and also I have training on a career coaching, career counseling. So yeah, if you feel like, after the sessions, if you have anything that you would like to talk to me, and you can book appointment with me or any coaches from Uprise. Yeah, hello. Yes, Singapore chicken rice. And for those of you who love Singapore, and Singapore actually just opened all the tourists again. I see quite a number of tourists on Orchard Road yesterday. Okay, so back to our topics today is we are talking about stress management. So one thing is really maybe start from stress first. I believe that all of us know that when we are talking about stress, there's good stress, at the same time bad stress. The good stress is very common. I hear from colleagues who say it's like, oh yeah, I need a bit of stress to push me, to motivate me to do things. Then this is a good stress. But you can see from this picture here is when it's too much over your the levels that you can tolerate, and you have some negative signs and symptoms because of you feel too stressed, then become like bad stress or distress here. So yeah, so since we are very some of you putting things on the chat, maybe before I go into the next slides, when we talk about stress, we always say it's like signs and symptoms. What are the signs and symptoms that will tell you, or you will observe from your friends or from your loved one, that someone is having stress or distress? Can be physical, can be emotional, can be behavior. So Justin, is it headache? Yeah, Christine, migraine. What else? It's very common that when we feel stressed, nauseous, tense jaw, eyes, tired eyes, emotional, short temper, yes, heartbeat. Yeah, so we see most of the answers that we put, actually it's really start from physical. Physical is because it's no matter how much we convince ourselves that, I'm okay, I'm not feeling stressed, but our body actually will not lie to us. So our body will react. Our body will show us that yes, actually we are in distress. Fatigue, cannot sleep. The heartbeat very fast. Headache, stomach pain, and you feel like you feel pain here, pain there. So loss of appetite, eating less, or some colleagues will say it's like I eat more because stress eating. So the next thing is constant worries, feel very anxious, overthinking, thinking too much, and then fear about the future. And the last point is loss of interest in your work or play. That means it's okay. Maybe some colleagues would say it's like, I will, last time I would like to go to the gym, or last time I would like to play games or go out with friends, but because of I feel too stressed, I just withdraw, and I just disconnecting from others. Yeah, and difficulty concentration, reacting with anger because we feel so stressed and frustrated, and sometimes we may really throw our tantrum to our loved one also. Nail biting, skin picking, pulling hair, and all these are some of the signs and symptoms. So just as I mentioned, is, the effect of the chronic stress. Even we tell ourselves, it's like, yo, no, you know what, I'm okay. But actually, our body will not lie to us. And from research will show that these are the common effect of chronic stress: headaches, stomach upset, chest pain, increased blood pressure, difficulty in sleeping. And because of that, actually increase the risk of heart attack, heart disease by 40%, heart attack 25%, stroke by 50%. So I guess, and that's why the reasons why today is we just learn some tips or technique that when we feel stressed, what are the things that we should do? Yeah. I cholesterol cause most of this. Yes. And sometimes it's also important to pay attention to our diet and exercise. Even when we are stressed, we still need to eat well, we still need to exercise. Okay, so the next thing here, I have 10 questions. Okay, let me explain to you what you need to do. So in each questions, you will put 0 is when you say never, then you put 0. When you say almost never, then 1. Sometimes it's 2. Fairly often is 3. Rare often is 4. But you see, I highlight question number 4, number 5, number 7, number 8. Then because the structure of the sentence of these questions actually is asking you how confident is a positive way to put these questions. Then the scale would be, we need to flip it the other way around, is when in your question 4, you never feel like confident, then you will put 4. Okay, I give you a few minutes. After you put your scale every single one, after you finish 1 to 10, then you add the score together. The next page, then I will tell you actually which scale is you think like okay, still acceptable. What are the things that maybe is too high or too low? Then you may need to seek help or talk to a professions or talk to the friends that you trust, and to tell people that maybe okay, I feel stressed. So this scale is called perceived stress scale. Okay. After you add up the score, then please put in the group chat and say yes. Then I can go into the next slides. So the first question is, in the last 1 month, how often have you been upset because of something that happened unexpectedly? So if you say never, then it's 0. Versus the opposite is very often, then you put 4. Then the second question is, last month, how often have you felt that you are unable to control your important things in your life? So same thing, from 0 is never, 4 is very often. Third question, in the last month, how often have you felt nervous and stressed? Okay, Nicholas, thanks. Then we wait for another maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute for other colleagues. Okay, thanks. Going, yes, then. Okay, I will say maybe another 20-30 seconds. Okay, yeah. For those who haven't finished this one, no worries, because we will send the slides to all of you, then you can do it after also. Okay, you need to add the score together. If the score ranging from 0 to 13, you consider low stress. Okay, or you manage the stress quite well. 14 to 26, moderate. Anything from 27 to 40, then is considered as high perceived stress. Because perceived is because all this is your self-report stress, is you perceive is you are having a high stress here. So if you have a really high score like 24 to 40, then I would say it's like, okay, please talk to someone, or please talk to a professions and see what are the things that maybe one of our coaches, and what are the things that we can support you. Okay, when we are talking about like stress management, just imagine that we have two pocket of things here. One thing is you need to understand is like what makes you stress. We are doing things to handle, to manage the stressor, versus we are doing things to manage the stress, the symptom of the stress. So I start with is really we call it the stressor. So external stressor versus internal stressors. What is external stressors? Then you will see here is job security, workload, KPI, deadline, role conflicts, workplace, working hours, long working hours, physical movement. You need to travel like more than 1 hour to your office. Sometimes, especially in the like rush hour or peak hour, then can be very stressed. Manpower constraints, personality conflicts. And then another thing is passing of a loved one, moving to a new place, changing of a new job. And then financial stress can be your expenses. Some colleagues would say it's like, oh yeah, a new mortgage and all this. So these are external stress. So internal stressor is your internal self-talk, self-imposed stress, fear, worry, sense of control. So very common that I will hear in the coaching session is like, I must be perfect. I'm stupid. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I'm not as good as my colleagues. Yeah. So then the next thing, then Nicholas here is that, okay, children can be external stress also. Or family commitment, especially during pandemic. Yes, we need to take care of our family. If you work from home, can also impact. Yeah. So internal stressor is all this self-talk. Usually, then the next thing I will ask colleague is if you're talking about like stress, the stressor, the source of the stress. Just imagine this is a pipe here, and 100% is the whole pipe here. How many percent is actually is external? How many percent is internal? For example, like if you say it's like, oh yeah, I need to meet deadline, I need to meet the KPI, then yes, this is external. But at the same time is the internal stress is like, you know what, I'm the last one in the team. You know what, I'm not as good as my colleague. Then these are the internal stressor. Yeah, overthinking. So some colleague will say it's like, oh, actually external, I think maybe 20-30%, but internal actually 70%. Then that means it's really a lot of things is our expectation, our self-imposed limitations make us feel stressed. Then again, it's then in the coaching session, in the counseling, then we say, okay, let's identify all these self-talk, and is that possible to replace it with more rational and positive talks? Your mother's voices in your head. Yeah, sometimes it's impacted by our parents, what we were told when we were a kid, since we were a kid. Okay, then other than just I mentioned is external stressor, internal stressor. This is the first thing that you know. Okay, the source of the stress. What I'm going to go through with you here is we call it is like some I would say it's like a framework when we talk about stress management. This 4A. So avoid is the first one. Okay, so avoid, that means it's like if something that you can change or you can avoid, then maybe you will change your behavior and then make you feel less stressful. So for example, like if you need to travel early in the morning and then you feel very stressed, you line up for lunches during peak hour, you feel very stressed, then maybe you take control and plan, you do something different, and then you avoid the situation. Avoid the people that who bother you if possible. Set, always talking about like set boundary, and then say no to responsibility. And then again is go back to, I also sometimes when I speak to colleague will say it's like, oh yeah, actually I know that I always say yes to others because I want people like feel like, you know, I'm hardworking, my good colleague, but actually because I say yes to all these things, and my to-do list is getting longer and longer. So it's very, very common. So maybe it's, yeah, saying no is hard, but we may need to learn how to say no. And also it's like why we also need to attend to ourselves. It's like, hey, I feel like it's so hard to say no. Is it because I feel like I scared people don't like me, and then because I say no, people will not like me, and then that's why I would just say yes to everything. Prepare to-do lists, and sometimes it's all these things in our head can be very, very stressful. But if you list it down, actually, oh yeah, I have such items, and what I can do. So the first one is, what are the things that you can avoid? The second thing is, what are the things that you can change? So is there anything that you can change? For example, like communicate your view, and then you manage your time by grouping tasks together. Again, the next thing is set boundary. Set your time that for your work versus the time that you feel like, okay, you need to really focus on yourself and your work. The third thing is to accept, when we are talking about stress, just as I said, your external stressor, internal stressor, and the next thing you need to ask yourself is what you can control, what you can't control. What you can control, then yes, you can do things to change the situation, you can control the situation. But if you can't control, then what are the things that we may need to let go and accept that there's things that we can't control. And then another thing is accept your mistakes. Learn that, okay, yes, I didn't do well this time. What are the things that we can do better next time? Share your feeling, talk to someone about how you feel, especially I think is really talk to someone that you can trust. Learn to forgive, especially yourself. If let's say again is you think like you are not doing well, it may be hard, but actually is very, very important. It will be very helpful. Practice positive self-talk. Just I mentioned is, we have all this negative self-talk. Is I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, I'm a failure. So then how do we, after I identified it, how do we replace it with more positive and rational self-talk? One thing you may need to ask yourself is what you are thinking always in your head. Is it backed up by fact? Is it backed up by evidence? Or actually is our fear, is only our feeling? So we may need to really go into understand our negative self-talk and make it, more rational. So adjust our expectation. Those colleagues usually say, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure. Usually they may have a quite high standard. Or again, since young, the voice from our parents is, you are never good enough, you must do all this or all that. So adjust your expectation. There's a concept is other than perfect. Actually, what is just good enough? Instead of a perfect 10, actually sometimes is I can do like 80% or 90%. Actually, I already like it's good enough. And yes, I can still do good, better next time. But this time, okay, I appreciate what I have done. And then reframe the problem to see like the same situation. Is there any new perspective to see things? Especially when we say like failure, instead of like, okay, you beat yourself up, it's like, okay, I did a very bad report or presentations, and then we feel like, oh no, I did something really, make a mistakes. So reframe the situation is, okay, then what I can do instead. Okay, people give me feedback. I will see it's a constant feedback, a constructive feedback is telling me that what I can learn, what I can grow. Focus on the positive, and to think of the happy things or things that actually you have achieved. Especially when, again, is when you feel stressed, when you feel like, I'm not good enough. Maybe also do a checklist is what are the things that you have already achieved, what are the things that you are good at. Focus on the positive. So these are one of the framework, we call it 4A. We all care about this in a week. Good sharing. So after 4A, today I know there's a lot of acronym here. 4A, then now here is SOB also. So when you catch yourself that you are feeling stressed, the first thing is you stop yourself. Because why we need to stop ourselves? Because it's instead of impulsive and reactive, Because sometimes we feel stressed, we will just, do something, and then at the end we feel, oh, actually I shouldn't do it. Oh, actually I shouldn't say it. Yeah, so then stop yourself, observe what is happening in your body and mind, especially the self-talk. The body part is, really like, oh, do I feel stomach pain? Do I feel like my heart beat very fast and all this? And then deep breathing. Later, I will just do a few round with all of you, and then also like expand the awareness to your surrounding. Okay, and later have another skills will also do that, or technique will also do that. Response with awareness will, other than autopilot. Awareness means it's like after you pause, you think through, okay, these are the things that I feel like is a way that I'm very mindful, and these are the things that I should do instead of autopilot mode, impulsive or based on feeling and fear, then we react. Okay, deep breathing is, how many of you heard of 478 before? It's not about the number, it's a technique, deep breathing technique, 478. Yeah, yes. Okay, so some of you say yes. So basically is, yeah, we can try here now is, you just imagine, okay, if you feel comfortable, then you will, yeah, you can close your eyes. Basically is like you put your hand on your tummy and just imagine you're like a balloon, and then you breathe in 4, and you hold 7, you breathe out 8. Then you count in your mind is like, yeah, you count in your mind is, okay, I breathe in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then breathe out 8. So you try a few rounds, and usually this is a way that to calm ourselves down. And also like if you have problem like fall asleep at night, difficulty like falling asleep, then usually then I will also do the same thing as I just put my hand on my tummy and then, okay, let's start 4, 7, 8. Yeah, you pay attention to your deep breathing, to your breath. Yeah. And then just now we mentioned that the slide I mentioned about like pay attention to the surrounding. Yeah, because some colleague will say it's like, in office or in a meeting and I'm feeling very stressed, I cannot close my eyes and then do deep breathing. And then what else you can do? Then we said this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, is how many of you heard of this before? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or used this before? Yes. Oh yeah, some of you also have tried that before. So basically is 5 things you can see. Okay, let's start together here now. You can look around if you're in office or you work from home. Yeah, great with kids. This is, we call it is really like emotional regulations is when we are too stressed or too sad, especially too stressed, then okay, look around. 5 things that you can see. Oh yeah, I can see, like my coffee cup, a laptop, like my mouse, my mobile phone, or anything that you can see. 5 things. 4 things that you can feel. Can be you feel like, okay, I am sitting on a chair, I can feel yeah, my chair, my sofa. Okay, maybe I can, yes, it's really like mindfulness. It's really like, okay, I'm touching my hand now, or this is how I can feel, this is what I feel. I feel the temperature of the room. So then again, it's 4 things that you can feel. 3 things that you can hear. Yeah, you hear these presentations. Okay, I hear the sound of the fan or the aircon, or I hear my kids are talking outside, or I hear someone is talking, my colleagues are talking somewhere. So 3 things you can hear. 2 things that you can smell. Again, take a deep breath. Okay, I can smell it's okay. It's lunchtime. Someone is preparing lunch. Okay, I can smell is, oh, I have essential oil at home. And then these are the smell of the essential. One thing that you can taste, sometimes we also can, we will teach kids is, okay, maybe it's really just, you have a candies, you have like a sweet in your mouth, then okay, this is, you can taste. Or you just sip a sip of water, okay, this is what you can taste. Because the reasons behind is we use all these, we call it these five sense body sensations, to engage ourselves to back to the here and now, this moment, instead of like occupied by our thoughts, by our fear. So this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And usually I will also tell colleagues that, hey, you can use this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 things. That means it's what you can see, what you can hear, what you can smell, taste, and you can feel. Become your self-care plan. Every day or every week you will do something to recharge your battery. When we feel so stressed, we need to have the self-care. So for example, like some colleagues, they will say, oh yeah, actually I am a visual person. What they will do is, okay, I watch TV, I watch Netflix, I play game, a lot of visual stimulation. I also have a colleague who says, yeah, I just go out to the park and I see like trees, I see people running. And for me, it's okay, this is a way that I feel like, I feel calm and I recharge myself. Hearing is audio, music, even like talking to people is actually, you hear your voice, you hear others people talk, then you feel, oh yes, I feel better. Smell, yeah, smell is some colleagues, they will like the smell of the essential oil. I also heard of colleagues that actually I like the smell of, like baking a cake. Actually, yes, I like to eat, but at the same time is the smell of the cake, or even like the smell of the coffee. So this is smell. Taste is oral, is all this eating, drinking. And that's one of the click when they feel stressed and they will go and drink and they will smoke. Actually, it's a way to de-stress, but at the same time may not be healthy in the sense in the long run. But if we say okay, self-care plan was the eating, then it's healthy eating. Eat the food that maybe yes you like, but at the same time it's healthy. And then the fifth one is feel. Physical movement, touched. Like go to the gym, exercise, brisk walking, yoga, massage, all about like physical touch. Then in the past 2 years in the pandemic, a lot of us actually we are trapped at home and without a lot of physical movement. And it's very common for us coaches or therapists to see more clients is, oh, I feel stressed. And one of the things is because I lack of physical exercise. So now things back to kind of like a new normal. Then this is one thing that I feel like I will also recommend colleagues is that, hey, look at your self-care plan. If you are a person that you like to do physical exercise, then bring it back and then put it as like your weekly routine, your daily routine. Okay, so the next thing is, we will appreciate your feedback, and we have more online resources on the Uprise app. And for those of you, if let's say Uprise is your EAP provider, actually coaches sessions with us is a free resources for both of you. So to sum up what I mentioned today, like this 30 minutes is when you feel stressed, look at, okay, what are the internal stressors, what are the external stressors, what are the things that you can control, what are the things that you can't control. And then also develop a self-care plan and develop a plan that when you feel stressed, okay, these are the things that you recharge your battery. Okay. Do you have any questions, anything that you would like to ask? Then you can type into the chat. And then at the same time is Teresa, our colleagues also put up feedback form here. So we welcome your feedback because it's important that you give us feedback. Then we will know is what are the things that we can do better next time. What are the topics that you can also feedback? Is what are the topics would be helpful for all of you here. So any questions? Any feedback? Thank you, Nicholas. Thanks, Shinta. Thanks, everyone. And have a good afternoon and evening. Yeah. Thank you.